Okay, we're now ready to start our virtual machine. So we'll start it up here. And the first thing it's going to do is look for an operating system. You may be lucky and it will pop up a dialog box asking you to point towards the ISO file. But in my case, I'm going to have to do it manually. So I'll go to optical drive. I'm going to choose a disk image. And I know my one is on my desktop. And then I can reset the virtual machine and it will start running quite happily. So very similar setup to what you'd expect with Windows 10. There is only one critical question in here that's different, and we'll find that when it comes along. So what I'll do is I'll pause while there's nothing much happening and bring it back up once a dialog box appears. So here we go. Language to install, unfortunately we can only choose English United States, but we can change the time and currency format to United Kingdom, and automatically it's selected a United Kingdom keyboard. With only the one button, that gives us an install now, and setup will start. So now we have a choice. It's very important that you make sure you choose one of the ones with a desktop experience, and in our case we want the standard edition across here, data center being required for large databases, which is not what we're doing. So standard license agreement, we can accept and move on, and we're going to do a custom install. Now at this point some people just hit the next button, but I quite like to make my first partition myself. I'll allocate the full size and it'll tell me that Windows will create a partition of its own, which we'll let it do, 500 meg approximately. We'll select the primary partition, then we'll hit next, and then we wait for Windows to install. There may be a couple of reboots take place, but please don't press a key, otherwise you'll start the installation process going again. So again, I'll pause until we get to the next important part. Now with first of our restarts, remember, don't touch a key when it asks you to. So having done nothing, it now carries on with the installation. That was the second reboot. So we now have to provide a password for the administrator account. And we'll do it a second time. Remember, this password needs to be complexed, so out of the following 4 it needs 3 of them: uppercase, lowercase, a symbol and a number, and it has to be a minimum of 7 characters long. As this is a virtual machine, we log in by using the right hand control key and delete. It asks us for the password we just entered. And this should put us into Server 2016. At which point the Server Manager wizard should launch, and we're ready to take it one step further. So we've got the desktop appearing, and in a few seconds we should have the Server Manager wizard appear. And there we have the wizard appearing. And the dashboard has arrived. So we've successfully installed 2016. It's just a case of now configuring it for the uses we need.